Namaskaram. I welcome you all to the second episode of fourth season of Self-Talk Show. I hope all of you are doing well and also hope that this show is creating some difference in your life. I always say that everything starts with you, with your intention, initiation and action. The day you decide to change something in your life, whether it's a habit or your old belief or your view or anything that is not serving you, is the day of your independence from your old self. It is more like moving towards growth, towards self-enhancement. An enhancement or more like refinement in your thinking pattern, thoughts, attitude, perception, view towards life, towards other people, towards situation, basically in the overall you. It is important to see things in a broader perspective, be accepting and also helpful. To see oneself and others as one, as equal, and be respectful as well. Every one of us are going through something or the other, whether it's physical sufferings, mental health issues, or even disorders. All we have to do is be kind and compassionate, accepting, and supportive. To elaborate on this, we have two very special guests who would like to educate us on a very important topic, that is autism, also known as autism spectral disorder, spread awareness regarding the same, blow off some myths, and most importantly, communicate their message to all of you. I would like to welcome Gina and Sam Mitchell, two amazingly vibrant personalities. Let us hear them out what they have to say.
Hi everyone, my name is Gina Mitchell, and I am the mother of Sam Mitchell, who is the creator and host of Autism Rocks and Rolls podcast, who recently we have turned the podcast into a nonprofit called Autism Rocks and Rolls Corporation. So Sam asked me to start talking, and so I'm going to kind of introduce who Sam is, and then he's going to kind of take over and we'll kind of go back and forth. So my son Sam is a 19-year-old college student, does have autism. He has very high functioning autism, and he was diagnosed when he was 4 years old. He had very classic textbook autism. He had a pretty severe speech delay, hated loud noises, lined things up, had major meltdowns. And so we knew very early that it was probably autism. I'm an educator. I've been in the classroom for 17 years. And so I had students on the spectrum, so kind of knew what to look for. He did get the diagnosis when he was in a special education preschool of autism. And then from there on out, we tried to provide Sam with the tools that he was going to need to be successful because we knew that he could be. I'm going to let Sam kind of take over, and I'm going to let him talk about how he got into podcasting and kind of where it went from there.
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Sam Mitchell, and I do run the podcast called Autism Rocks and Rolls. It is about autism and how we cope with daily struggles that you may or may not understand. I'm nearing 8K downloads, and I've had big guests on the show such as Temple Grandin and Mick Foley. And I've also done this podcast since October 2019, and it started through my high school's media club. It wasn't a class, it was a club. They always want to say that for some reason. And I really fell in love with it. It just clicked with me. So I decided to continue my media skills. I would make my own.
Yeah, and I can kind of add to that too. The podcast was a hobby. And it wasn't really until Sam started to get sponsors and people started paying attention to his advocacy work, which we will talk about here in a few minutes. But people really started paying attention to it. And it even got the attention of media and newspapers, and people were really interested in what Sam was doing and the message that he was trying to send. That's when things changed to really a business. When Sam started to offer ad space on his podcast, he started to get sponsors. That's when it changed, not necessarily just a hobby podcast, but it became a business. And then we realized that the world needed to continue to hear Sam's advocacy work. And so as a family, we had a conversation and decided that a nonprofit was probably the way to go so that Sam could kind of spread his message. And it's been awesome. We have events coming up, which we'll talk about. But that's kind of the story of Sam.
Now, this podcast has helped me through a variety of ways. It has helped me through life itself. It's helped me, I think, develop a lot more social skills in a unique way. Somehow, I don't know how. I'll admit it. I really wish I knew how, but it has. So that's kind of a nice little pat on the back for me. And I would also say that this podcast has helped me through toughest times and It's a coping mechanism. When I'm having tough days, I'll just do the work and get some stuff done, because it's a business at the end of the day as well, and you gotta get stuff done. So I just go to that and enter my zone, as you would say, and do the work, and then I forget about what the issue was in the first place.
And from a mother's perspective, Sam's confidence level just went through the roof whenever he found podcasting, because he's very good at it and he had a message to share. The people that we've met along the journey is probably our favorite part. Yes, he has gotten to meet celebrities that have a platform, and that's always really, really cool whenever we get to talk to people that have, platforms like Sam does. But my favorite part is just meeting people that believe in Sam. And there's too many to mention. We have met so many people. We have met mothers. We have met teachers. We have met business owners that are involved with autism awareness and acceptance. So that's my favorite part. We've had so much help along the way. There's truly not enough thank yous in the world for people that have supported Sam and his mission.
Well, first of all, Mom, thank you. Now you can finally say I finally have friends. I feel like I can officially say that. We couldn't say that 15 years ago.
Well, yeah, and that is really, for Sam to say that he didn't have friends, he didn't. And that's the problem. That's the problem. That's where this platform comes, is to educate people so that people do understand, yes, they have autism, but that doesn't mean that you have to be nervous and that you automatically think they have a disability. It's probably going to be too much work to be their friend. So he's right, though. That is a problem in our society, and that's what Sam is trying to change.
Correct. And speaking of work, that's another problem with jobs. They're not getting enough jobs. It's 70%, and that's another problem. Mom, why don't you explain the reasons why? Because I think you know more than I do with this scenario.
Well, as Sam has started his advocacy work, there's been lots of things that he's been able to accomplish, but it seems like at the end of the day, we're always going back to, and this is part of his mission statement, we're always going back to that people on the spectrum don't get the chance to show their talents, to show their success. That is really the central part, I think, of Sam's advocacy work. What Sam is talking about is a huge problem in our society. And our very, very good friend, Dr. Temple Grandin, will tell you that it is a problem when you have 70%-ish of those on the spectrum that don't have a job or they can't keep a job. That's not, the fault isn't necessarily lying with that person. And I hate to use the word fault at all, but the issue is miscommunication and people not getting the knowledge and education. So it's an issue. And what we want to do is help employees too, but employers to understand, stop ignoring that population of those on the spectrum. They're very, very good workers. They're on time. They don't want to make a mistake. And it's a problem that they're being ignored. Will there have to be some sort of accommodation within the workplace? Absolutely. But there's accommodations in the workplace anyway for everybody. So it's really not any different. So that links to success. And then, Sam, do you want to talk about what other things you're doing, like your motivational speaking?
Yeah, sure. So for the events you want to hear about, some events I have done is I've participated in a lot of charity events. One of them is Cast for Kids. It is where people with many abilities go fishing and have an award ceremony. I was able to participate in that along with our sponsors, Brandon Barrett and Amy Barrett. So thank you guys again. I was able to actually do something really fun with this at a local wrestling event. I got to work the media side of it. And going through this podcast journey, I wanted to do that. It didn't have to be like WWE or WWF, as the old timers call it. But it was just a wrestling show. That to me was pretty fun. I've spoken to IU vendors, and I'm going to be speaking in February 2022 and September 2022 in Indianapolis.
Yep. And then the February event's going to actually be in Oklahoma, where he gets to be keynote speaker at an autism conference. So we're really excited about that. So that is one thing that Sam has definitely picked up to spread his message through speaking. A couple of other things too, I think that we want to cover is just the term success. Sam has had so many people on his podcast that they have autism and they're successful. Without the autism, they wouldn't be successful. So Dr. Temple Grandin could never have changed the agricultural world if her brain wasn't wired the way that is.
Or the other guests I've had, like James Durbin, runner-up of American Idol. If he didn't have autism or Tourette's, he may not be able to sing probably a couple of my favorite songs that he has sung, which is Love Me Bad and Smackdown. He would probably never have had the opportunity to sing those songs.
And Armani Williams is a NASCAR driver. He told us during the interview, he said, when I buckle up that seatbelt, I am hyper-focused, and he wouldn't be able to be successful and do that without the autism helping him be hyper-focused. So, Sam, I know...
Hold on, one more thing.
Sure.
Sorry to interrupt you, but everyone understand this is not just for autism, though. This is the disabled world as well. I've had guests who are deaf. Mandy Harvey, a great example. The fourth run-up to the 2017 America's Got Talent season. I've had blind people on the show, such as Lonnie Bedwell and David Cubby from Britain's Got Talent. But I've also had other guests who have either been related to autism or mental health. Look at Sarah Tonko. She's on one of our favorite shows as a family resident alien. She's the big mental health advocate in the world because she believes you gotta take care of yourself first before anyone else. And while it seems kind of harsh, I think it's true.
Absolutely. And we do use the word disabled pretty, like we kind of throw that term around, but we do like to say differently abled because everybody's abled and everybody's disabled. So the last thing I think we might want to cover is, Sam, what have you learned? What do you want your audience to know about you and just about autism, differently abled people in general?
Well, what I want them to know, in all honesty, is that no matter who you are, you have something to offer. You have a place in society. There's something you can do, no matter if it's getting the mail to being a big-time pro wrestler winning a championship. There's something.
Absolutely. And what I will say is you have to find your path because everybody has a path. And if that path is, like Sam said, get up and get the mail every day, and that's what you accomplish, then that is an accomplishment. The other day, Sam and I were in town, and we went through the drive-thru at a local fast food restaurant. Of course, I won't say a name, but as we went through the drive-thru, one of my former students was working the window. And I said, "Oh, it's so good to see you. What have you been up to?" And this person said, "Well, I do work at a fast food restaurant, so that should probably tell you." And my immediate response was, "Wait a minute, don't be hard on yourself." Or I said to this person, I said, "Hey, you're getting up every day and you are going to work. Why are you taking a dig at yourself?" So everybody is successful in some way. And like Sam said, as a society, we have to tap into that instead of showing that what people can't do. Right, Sam?
You're right.
Anything else, Sam? One last thing. We do have something coming up in April 16th, 2022 in Bloomington, Indiana at the AmVets location on the west side of Bloomington. We will be holding a gala from 3 to 9 p.m. And our keynote speaker is Dr. Temple Grandin. Sam will speak as well. And tickets will go on sale through Event Groove. They're $20 on January 24th. Ticket sales stop on April 2nd. And there will be a silent auction, food vendors, the speaking, music. There'll be booths. So it's going to be a really, really good time. So hopefully we can get people there.
Correct. And with the gala, now before we say anything, I just want to mention we'll have a little fun here. Well, there's a funny argument going. We don't know how to say it. It's either gala or gala.
Gala.
It's gala. But anyway, just for fun and giggles, I thought you guys might know you can make up your own mind how you want to say it. That's why we say it a little differently. But anyway, our gala event to me is going to be something big. It's going to celebrate autism. It's going to celebrate the world of disabilities. It's going to celebrate all. It's not just going to celebrate autism. It's going to celebrate spina bifida, muscular dystrophy. Autism will be one. ADHD, food allergies, something else I have, and sleep apnea, which I also have. But it will mention more that there is. It will mention the eye diseases of the world, nostril disease, if there is any. I don't know if there is. But it will celebrate everyone's special talent.
Absolutely. And it's called Success for All and How We Get There. So to find Sam, you can find him at autismrocksandrolls.com. His email is info@autismrocksandrolls.com. And he is also on all social media handles and on all the podcasting platforms of your choice. So he's very, very easy to find. Oh, we should say one more thing. Sam does have a TED Talk. Sam,
I do.
So talk about that, Sam, really fast.
So yeah, it was on January, and we had to do it virtually because of COVID, but I'm glad I got to do it, and it was over autistic people needing structure. And we did it, and it went well.
The last thing I'll say is be you. I have it tattooed on my skin because it's so important. And hey, everybody, be kind.
Thank you, Gina and Sam, for making us aware about autism and also about your work, which is exceptional. And I would recommend to all of you beautiful listeners to definitely check out Autism Rock and Rolls podcast for more information. I'm so grateful to both of you for choosing Self-Talk Show as a medium to spread awareness about the same. It was lovely having you both on the show. So with this, we come to an end of this episode. Hope you liked it, and a feedback would definitely do wonders. We would really appreciate if you can subscribe to Self-Talk Show. More episodes, more awareness, and more inspiration is coming your way. So stay tuned and keep self-talking. You can reach out to us for questions, queries, or suggestions at www.selftalkshow.com or email us at showselftalk@gmail.com or through social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you again and see you with another episode.